Right, so we continue on with our feelings introduction to confidence intervals. And so we do have this definition of a confidence interval. It gives us a list of feasible values for a parameter of interest. Hopefully you watched Mr. Nystrom's video that I posted in the practice quiz. It is excellent at describing logistically what we're doing with a confidence interval. We do have certain confidence levels, and we're going to talk about those next and the feelings associated with them. The most common are 90, 95, 99. We're also going to see 80, 98. Eventually, you may memorize the different critical values associated with these, and we'll get to what a critical value is in just a second. So here's our second feelings piece. Another one I do in class, I like to ask students, guess what you think the true proportion of students at our school who are Hispanic is. And of course, now we've gone back and forth on which of these two definitions to use, Hispanic or Latinx, so you choose. But feel free, put down your own feeling answer to this question. This is not based on any knowledge, this is just based on what you think might be the answer. So again, typically as students give answers, there's usually answers anywhere from 25% up to like 70% in my classes. So let's just go ahead and guess at point 4 to begin with. If you have something different, it doesn't matter because we're in feelings math land and this isn't the point. The point is these next two questions. One asks to mark on a number line the interval that you believe with 80% confidence has that actual proportion from our school, from Mesa. So we have 40% down as our guess. You might have something different. And the idea here is to just shade what you think would include 80% confident wise the actual value. So typically what students will do is they'll go like plus or minus 10%. And I'm pretty sure it's between 30 and 50%. And then the second question is, well, what if I told you to be 99% confident? What would you do? What would you shade now? And I always have one smartass in the class, and of course you can do this on your own, see how you do. But I usually have one smartass in the class who says like, well, I just shade the whole thing. Then I'm 100% confident I caught it. And that's a completely legitimate thing to do. If I wanted to be 99% confident that I caught the real value, I could go all the way from 10% to 70%, right? I could just go everywhere from everything that students said on the low end to the high end, and I can feel pretty good that I caught the real value. So again, the idea here is not that we've made an interval that is valid, but that we now really understand how that confidence level is associated with the width of our interval. So what we should have noticed, hopefully, even if you did this on your own, is that the 99% confidence interval is wider because we're building a parameter catcher, right? And we are more likely to have caught the real value if we have a bigger interval. It's a big trade-off though, because me concluding that between 10 and 70% of our students are Hispanic or Latinx is not nearly as useful as saying that between 30 and 50%. So there's a trade-off between our accuracy, our precision, and our confidence. And so I think students sometimes conflate those, and that's why we'll have this go in the wrong direction. But that's the last of the feeling stuff that you were missing in terms of the 6.2 material. And then after that, we should have videos for everything else. The playing with dice activity I have since replaced with the tossing kisses Desmos activity. So we used to do this in class, and now I actually have a nice little Desmos activity to get you guys introduced to this idea of a confidence interval and the actual mathematical calculations, hopefully getting to this what that critical value is that we use, that multiplier, that z star, and how that standard error is so closely related to our standard deviation for our sampling distribution of a sample mean. So that's it. Those are the pages you were missing if you are a completist and you really want to fill everything in. And that was what I was hoping you would take away. Bigger sample size means we should feel more confident, right? Not more confident, but we should more confident in being close to the real value. And then more confidence means that we might need to have a wider interval to make sure that we've actually caught our true parameter.